Hey, Michaleen.
Hey, Drew. We're already laughing because neither one of us wanted to get up and press the magic button that says you're live. Of course, Bobby Cugini, who's supposed to be here today, and this was his idea, by the way, on what we're going to talk about, who's not here. He's usually was like last time was our magic button presser, and we didn't have to get up and try to figure out how to sit down and still look as good as we did before we. Never mind. Anyway, Drew, we are so excited about where we're at today.
Yeah.
Tell everyone.
So today we're out in Aurora.
We are.
Avexia Cafe. First time here for me. How about you?
First time for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's their. Look at this menu, you guys. Look at this. And I do have some pictures I'm going to post. I think you took some too, Drew.
I took a few too.
Oh, they have some of the sweetest things in there. Well, like they do have sweets, but really cute gifts. So if you're looking for that something special and a great little kid section.
Yeah.
You know, for the littlers, not a 5-year-old. I don't think you.
No, definitely not a 5-year-old.
No.
But,
definitely for the little kids.
A lot of neat stuff in there. It's like a mini Cracker Barrel.
Very many.
Yeah. More modern stuff though.
More and like I love, you know, we have a lot of clients. I think we talked about this that need to be gluten free, and there are so much. Like you can't see this, but any item on here that's in gold is gluten free, and you can get it gluten free. Like I would not get gluten free mac and cheese, but it's on here that you can. Plant mac and cheese. Actually, Dana Tench, I always think of you when I come to a place like this because you love to not only eat plant-based, but I know you like gluten-free as well.
Yeah.
I got 2 items. Of course I did. One, and look how cute they serve this to me. This is just a plain, can you see this? Plain, you know me, love my boring coffee with cream and a white cupcake. And I think I'm excited about it. You know, I'm always looking for the ultimate cake. So I'm anxious to try this in a little bit. Got my fork all ready for when we're done.
You're not trying it on camera for them?
Nah. Because then it'll dribble. My chest is too big. It drops on my chest. I can't do that.
I'll be the one to make a mess then.
But look at you, Drew. What made you go blueberry today?
So it's a lemon blueberry mini loaf.
It's lemon. I didn't see that.
I didn't either, but that's how it rang up.
Looks delicious.
So looks pretty good.
But I did buy Bob Paul a brownie. Now, you know, he's the brownie king. He makes the best brownies, even I have to admit. But I brought that home for him, just seeing if maybe someone's better than him. But I tasted my coffee already, and that's what I'm all about. And did you notice, like, all the places we're going, we keep saying the same thing, that it's smooth and it's tasty, and you know, you get a different taste than I do.
Yeah.
But this is like delicious today. Like,
yeah.
I got strong as usual, and I put in just a little bit of fresh half and half. It is so very good, and I don't know about you.
No, my cold brew, it's smooth. It's
very smooth.
You know, some places
a little strong.
It's a little
bitter.
A little bitter. Not getting any bitterness here. It's
not at all.
You know, not even sometimes cold brew has a little bit of a fruity undertone. I'm not getting that either. It's just
fruity.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a little bit of hint of fruit
notice
in there, but no, it's bold. It's smooth.
Well, I love that I like hot, and I know as the months change, you might decide to give, going back to hot. But you have hot coffee in the morning, don't you?
Yeah.
This is your first cup?
This is my first cup. I used to drink tea at home in the morning.
And because little Ace likes his tea too.
Sometimes I still do, but not every day. More so in the winter. But I knew we were coming out today, so.
So good.
Yeah.
And Drew felt it was best for us today to sit outside, which I'm glad that he did, because it's beautiful. You can't really see over there, but it's gorgeous. I mean, it's beautiful. So if you want to just come out and hang, I was a little worried about the traffic, but I'm not.
No.
It's not loud here at all.
It's not too bad here.
And music, you know, I kind of like that background. Mm-hmm. But Drew, so much. I don't know. I'm not so worried. I know you aren't. Drew's going to be our next ACAR president in 2025. And that's why I'm really very happy that he is obviously my competition. Kidding. Because, when you're in real estate, as long as you are, you don't really have competition. You build relationships and you already have your tribe in place. So the people that we spend our time with that are as smart as you are help us get through the times that we're going to be making some changes. I think that you and I mean, we've been through COVID. Could this get any worse?
Yeah.
What do you think?
COVID was a unique time because it started out slow, but then it was
crazy.
Then it was a rush, and that market was based on your speed to get out there.
It sure was.
The fastest person won most times.
Man, you aren't kidding.
Now we're going into a market where it's going to be more knowledge and skill based again, and you're going to have to know how to negotiate and really know the terms of a contract
from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Top to bottom. You're not going to be able to just skim through it and tell your client to sign here, press hard.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. I use an offer manager. I'm not going to promote one over the other, but if you're not using some type of software as an offer manager to compare offers for your clients, I really think it's something most agents should look into. It will definitely save you time, save you a lot of headaches, and shows you the strong points of the offer, what you need to see, what you should really make your decision off of.
Well, and I can't really say I do that, but I know that in my own end of the business, with it being just Bob and I have to be meticulous on everything, like everything. And I love that even after I'm done going through an offer and I do my summary sheet, I quadruple check that to make sure that every offer I present, either to a seller or a buyer, it has to be immaculate.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You had to be on your game then, and you're really going to have to be on your game now. And let's share why, Drew.
Yeah. So on the buy side, there's some changes coming up. Some agents have implemented it already, but as of August 17th, realtors nationwide are going to be required to have buyers sign a buyer-broker agreement prior to looking at any homes. So, it used to be if a friend called you up and said, "Hey, Michaleen, there's a house down the street for sale. Can we go look at it?"
Mm-hmm.
We used to go look at the house. But now we have to say, well, I have this document here. I know my company has a couple options. We have one that's good for one home. We have one that's good for multiple homes. But
I'm kind of thankful for that.
Yeah, either way, they have to sign a document
mm-hmm.
that says they understand they are working with you and that they may be obligated to pay you if the seller is not willing to pay you.
It's and I'm just giving my opinion on this. Doesn't mean I'm right or wrong, but that document's always been around, Drew.
Yeah.
I just never used it.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly because I was never concerned, and I've said this in another video that I've done, if you are working with me and you are a buyer, I never thought about it because I never worried that someone was not going to stay with me.
Yeah.
I always felt comfortable enough that I built a trust. I had a great buyer's consultation. I knew really when I was done, was the buyer going to work with me, and did I want to work with the buyer? Did you ever even think about that until now?
No, it wasn't a concern for me because I was the same way. If after meeting a buyer they didn't like me, they didn't want to work with me, I probably didn't want to work with them either.
Probably not.
There weren't too many of them over the years, but occasionally there was one. If their expectations were out of line and they just weren't listening to the market. But
right.
Other than that, I'm pretty easy to get along with, and I could get along with most people.
I don't know if I'm easy to get along with. I kind of talk a little too fast, but the thing is, you and I work a lot on referral,
mm-hmm.
and anyone that's newer to our database that has reached out that maybe we don't know, I even do a more thorough consultation, so they know where I'm coming from. I know where they're coming from, And still, I never did. I never filled that document out. And guess what?
Yep.
I've started now because I'm going to have to.
Yeah, now we have to. And the big difference is, previously, I think one of the reasons a lot of people didn't fill it out is, our compensation was dependent on what the seller was offering us through the MLS, and that's what's going away is the unilateral offer of compensation to the MLS. It's not going to be there anymore. So a lot of situations it's going to be negotiated as part of the offer.
Mm-hmm.
Some sellers may still be offering a set amount, and we may see some sellers that say, you know what, I don't want to pay anything.
But don't you agree, Drew? They had that opportunity to pay nothing all along.
They did.
I mean, it wasn't anything that someone didn't have the opportunity to do, except that they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And the listing agent has always been gracious enough to make sure that the buyer's agent got paid.
Yeah.
Maybe not gracious. Maybe they weren't gracious. I should probably pick a better word.
Yeah.
But it was just something that we all did.
Yeah.
Our colleagues, we took care of one another. And I'm not saying that that's not going to happen now. But if I were a buyer, I'll be honest with you, I would maybe be a little concerned, wouldn't you?
A little bit. I think we're going to have some bumps in the road the first couple months, but I think buyers and sellers are going to realize, at the end of the day, the old system, the new system,
the 100-year-old system.
It was all built into the sales price of the house. You
Yes.
know, when you met with the seller, you went over the market, you went over the comps.
Yeah.
You provided
Every
a recommendation. Seller. You said, hey, here's where I think your house is going to sell. Here's a breakdown of your costs.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an estimate of what you're going to walk away with. And that included, everybody getting paid.
So,
sure. The only difference now is, we might get 3 offers in on the property. This one's asking for the seller to pay X to their broker. Next one's asking the seller to pay bananas, and the other one wants a couple oranges.
Yeah.
So it's gonna vary based on the offer.
It will, and that is honestly, it's putting a lot more. Not a lot more. Not that realtors are not responsible. They are, but they really are going to have to do their homework. Like if you've got multiple offers of, say, 3 or 4, and they are a little less now. Don't you find that in the marketplace?
Yeah, they tend to be a little less.
A little less. So if I've got 3 or 4 offers on a wonderful piece of property, or the buyer's agent, let's go back to that, and I'm the listing agent, and the buyer's agent's got 5 summary sheets for me to look at, because obviously you all know every buyer's agent has to show the seller every single offer on the table, which I love having those. I don't know about you, but I like doing that sheet and having it in front of me. Helps me think a little easier, quicker, and I know I'm going to share every single thing I have to share with that buyer, with the listing agent, so they can present my buyer's offer. But I know 3 different things that I would do to try to get the seller's agent to present to the seller. And like you said, one would be to tie in to the offer price. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna put more work. I don't want to say more work, but the buyer's agents are going to have to be strategic.
They will.
At the start of it, at the very beginning, they're going to have to be able to articulate to the buyers what they're actually doing for them. It's more than just opening the door.
And it might not be
opening the door is the easiest part of it.
It is, and it's the funnest part, actually. That's
Yeah.
why I love being a buyer's agent. I love listing houses, but you all know I love going in those homes. If you work with me, but I think that that's all going to start with that buyer's broker agreement, don't you, Drew?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's on the line and you already know what you could possibly have to pay to your buyer's agent, kind of makes it a lot easier, don't you think?
Yeah.
You know up front.
Yeah, sets the expectation up front. It's a conversation we're going to have with the buyers. Probably include their loan officer.
I love that idea.
Confirm what type of loan product they're using. Any special circumstances with the finances. At the end of the day, it should make the job some things easier for the buyer's agent, because I know there's a lot of agents out there that don't really ask too many questions up front. They say, okay, you want to go look at some houses? Great. Are you pre-approved? Oh, great. You're pre-approved with Union Home Mortgage? Okay, wonderful.
Which is crucial.
And they
Yeah.
don't, a lot of times it just ends there. They don't ask questions of,
Yes.
well, is it a conventional loan? Is it FHA? Is it USDA? Is it VA?
Right.
Do you need help with closing costs? Have they gone over closing costs with you? Things like that.
We work with great lenders.
I mean, I'm surprised how many buyers I would talk to over the years say, oh, I was working with another agent, but didn't work out. I say, well, how much are you putting down on the house? No, nobody talked to me about that.
Oh
It
my
blew
God.
my mind.
Yeah.
Like, well, are you really pre-approved if you don't know how much you're putting down?
Are you? That would be my question. Are you really pre-approved? How important is that?
When they say they're pre-approved, that's why my next question is, okay, with who? Can I see your pre-approval?
Absolutely. And I don't show without a pre-approval. You?
No.
Not anymore.
No.
I do want to say maybe if they're friends, but my friends even know.
Yeah.
Even family, although family's a whole different ballgame. But you have to have that. So now, if you're thinking of buying, or if you're getting ready to sell, your buyer needs to have that buyer's compensation agreement signed, and you need to have you always did need it anyway, your pre-approval. But it's very funny. I'm in so many different groups, as well as you, especially now with the position you're going to be taking in January. You're working with so many different people in so many different states. And when I talk about this buyer's compensation, they're like, you're just doing that now?
Yeah.
We always did that. So they don't look at any of this as being much of a change.
Yeah, some states, they've been doing it for years, so to them, it's no big deal.
No big deal.
No
big deal.
New York City renters have been paying their leasing agents there for forever.
Forever.
You want to rent an apartment in New York City? Great. You got to pay the agent $10,000 to find an apartment for you.
Oh my gosh. I think one of the other options, other than asking the seller for concessions, I do think at some point a buyer may have to pay a buyer's agent. Do you think I'm right?
I'm sure there's some situations where that's going to happen. I mean, I know of situations where that happens already, so it's...
Yeah.
And
if you've got your buyer's agreement, it's already on there, aren't they right?
Yeah, it's already on there.
You already know up front before you sign that what your agent's commission will be. So it's not like it's something that you don't already know.
I think sometimes the people in the industry, make a bigger deal out of things than it actually is.
Probably.
Like, when you shop around for homeowners insurance, don't you assume that the insurance agent's getting paid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
People assume we're going to get paid. Now it's just going to be a little more transparent up front how that works, what it is.
How it works.
Yeah.
Those 3 simple words. This is how it works.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's worked with me, and same as you, did you ever, I don't want to answer for you, but did you ever just go, do you know how I get paid? Did you ever ask that question to a buyer?
I went over it. In my buyer's consultation, I went over the process.
I never asked that question, though.
Because, here and there, the question would come up of how much are we paying you? When do we have to pay you? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd go over it with them.
Never even brought that up. I guess because I just took it for granted. The seller, the listing agent was going to take care of that when it came to Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Here's your bottom line. And we were going to be good, which probably wasn't a really great idea.
So I'm sure we should probably wrap up here, but I did want to touch on one more thing before we do. Mm-hmm. I know you probably heard the other day there were some rumblings about my company, EXP, not paying buyer broker
Drew, I
agents.
texted you.
Yep. I didn't know if you wanted to tell everybody.
Yeah, I don't care. I wanted Drew to clarify this because I think it's really important.
Yeah, it's just it's basically semantics on how it all works. EXP is not preventing buyer brokers from getting paid if they're buying an EXP listing. That's not what's happening. The way it's working is the way it used to be in real estate, and it hasn't necessarily been this way for a while, but it's still how a lot of the paperwork explains it. Is a seller would agree to pay X to the listing brokerage.
Yes.
And the listing brokerage would share part of that with the buyer's brokerage.
Which is what we're
So
used
you'd
to.
have broker-to-broker compensation.
Yes.
Broker A would share part of their pay with broker B. All that's changing is our paperwork is clearly spelling out that as eXp Realty, we are not taking part of our commission and paying it from eXp to broker B or whoever. It's just making it clear that that money is coming, if it's coming from the seller, that it is coming from the seller to the buyer's broker. So there's no misunderstanding of how it got there, who paid for it. That's all it is.
Well,
Whether
and it's a great explanation because honestly,
whether it's a commission, concession,
yes,
call it what you want, it's coming directly from the seller to the buyer's broker if that's happening. It's not eXp sharing anything.
well, I'm glad you explained. I'm glad we have the time to do that. I know we do need to wrap it up. You know, we could talk about a million things. Actually, I would love to script with Drew, but we're not going to really have time to do that.
Yeah.
But maybe on our next coffee, because I'm sure we're going to have another one before August 17th. Drew, did I read August 11th?
So August 17th is a Saturday.
Yes.
So in Northeast Ohio, MLS Now has decided that Monday, August 12th, is the date that the commission field will no longer be in the MLS.
Okay, that's probably where I read it then.
That way, if there's some bumps in the road, some technical difficulties,
Can get straightened out.
The software companies will be available on a Monday. They'll have staff on hand. On Saturday, should something have gone wrong, you're not going to get your grade A tech support on a Saturday.
No, we're not.
So
Sometimes even Monday's iffy. I mean that in a good way.
Other parts of the state, they're doing it August 1st. They're just saying August 1st is it. August, we're cutting over.
Well, in our brokerage is like, and that is one reason I love being with KW is because I swear to God, I've said this from the time that I went with KW. If you didn't know how to change the toilet paper in the bathroom, there was someone to teach it to you.
Yep.
They cover every single thing you need to know to be successful. And this is as well. Our broker and our KW Living Brokerage we've been talking about this ever since.
Yeah.
Just because we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And they made sure that we were good to go when we were when August 11th, 12th, or 17th came along.
Yep.
That's for sure. But yes, this was a coffee visit today. Don't forget to go to Avexia. But Drew, thanks for sharing all that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get up and hope I don't trip and shut this off. What button am I pressing?
The one that says finish.
Okay. Bye, you guys. See you
Bye.
soon.